Let's now invite Regan Watts, conservative strategist and founder of Fratton Park Inc. Advisory. Regan, thanks for your time. We're looking at two big changes that have taken place in less than 24 hours for the French leaders' debate. How, in your view, do you think these changes may have affected the preparations, and how do you think the leaders are looking forward to the debate tonight?
Oh, I think the debate tonight is the beginning of the third period of this election campaign. All three major parties, the Democrats, the Liberals, and the Conservatives, will have prepared strategies well in advance of this decision. So I don't think this decision will at all impact how the debate goes. And look, this debate will give Canadians a chance to evaluate party leaders based on their preferences and views on policy and on politics. And Mr. Poilievre is rightly acknowledged as a skilled debater and a good communicator. But, let us not forget, Mr. Carney, he may not be the Marquis of Queensbury, but he is a man who has been educated at excellent institutions and has experience appearing in political forums like the British Parliament. And he was the chair of Chatham House, one of the world's leading debating societies. This is a man, Mr. Carney, who is highly experienced, and I expect will do just fine tonight. It'll be up to the NDP, I think, in the bloc to break into the voice of this election. And tonight is their first opportunity to do so. I think Mr. Carney will be the focal of those two parties, while Mr. Poilievre speaks to the country. So I don't think the decision to exclude the Greens is going to in any way, shape or form impact the strategy that the parties have on the debates.
Okay, let's talk about the strategy a little more in detail, because some analysts also pointing out that how the NDP and the bloc is bleeding and those votes are being transferred to the Liberals, according to some. Your analysis on what is it that Pierre Poilievre needs to do to try and get extra attention and the favor of Quebecers?
Well, I think the strategy for Mr. Poilievre tonight in the French language debate and tomorrow in the English language debate is to speak to Canadians, to talk about his values, how he'll govern, what motivates him, and really look at the camera and spend less time litigating or prosecuting the other parties and more time talking to Canadians about his plan, which he has done so quite a bit during this election campaign. If this was a horse race and we had 5 horses in the race, we have 2 thoroughbreds, the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party, and 3 donkeys, the NDP, the Bloc, and the Green Party. And it'll be up to the Bloc and the NDP tonight to transition from the donkeys that they've performed so far into thoroughbreds in order to make this a horse race. Look, the polls being what they are, the Conservative Party needs a stronger NDP. Jagmeet Singh, this is likely his final election campaign as NDP leader, and it'll be up to him to restart his campaign and reboot his campaign tonight when the eyes of Quebecers are on him, and tomorrow night when the eyes of English Canada are tuning in for that debate.
I would argue that all leaders on the stage tonight are very well qualified. I don't know about the donkeys or the horses, but they all are very well qualified to be up there on the stage today there, Regan. But before I let you go, about the issues that they're going to be discussing tonight, of course, the Bloc is saying that, for example, Mark Carney is not very well aware of the issues of Quebec. He doesn't even know how to speak the language per se. Your take and how they have been targeting him of being missing in action in the last few days while he was preparing for the debate. How much of that's going to really play out?
Well, to be clear, my reference to donkeys is the performance of the campaigns, not the candidates. The NDP and the Bloc in particular have run very poor campaigns, and that's why we're seeing their numbers as low as they are. In terms of the debate tonight in Quebec, let's be clear, Mr. Carney, who is an intelligent man, has paid attention to the news and has been around public life in this country and in Britain for 20 plus years, when he went to Quebec, he could not remember the name of l'École Polytechnique, where a mass shooting took place, which was one of the most important historic events in Canadian history of the 21st century. If he was to campaign or canvass in Verdun or Laval after the debate tonight, I guarantee you there's not one person he will meet who will understand what it means to set up a tax haven at a bike shop in Bermuda. And so this debate tonight will be an opportunity for each of the main parties to put their policies forward, but also with respect to Mr. Carney, to continue asking those questions that, by the way, Canadians are asking themselves more and more, which is, who is Mr. Carney and is he the right person to lead our country? Yes, the polls are what they are, but every day more questions come up. And so I think tonight is the first step in a 2-step process where Canadians are really going to get a good look at Mr. Carney and what he has to offer, and the other party leaders, and how they might contrast their policies and value proposition for the Canadian people into the final stretch of the campaign.
But Regan, you said polls are what they are. If we take a closer look, we're seeing how the numbers are favouring the Liberals right now. In terms of preferred Prime Minister as well, according to the latest that's coming from Nano, suggest that Mark Carney is the preferred Prime Minister. And look at the gap, 44.7% versus versus 37.3% for the Conservatives. Are you concerned about these numbers, or do you think these numbers will be able to shift after the debates? Will it make a difference?
Well, the concern I have as a conservative is the flaccid and anemic New Democratic Party. While they sit at single digits, it makes it very difficult for the Conservative Party of Canada to win an election. That's just a mathematical fact. When I look at other polls, and I note that Abacus Research, who I think are an excellent polling outfit, had a poll out this afternoon that showed the narrowing of the gap to 2 points. So I think the numbers are going to tighten, are going to continue to tighten. Canadians are definitely tuning into the election campaign. And I think we'll see some more movement starting this evening into the final stretch. And that's the great thing about elections, is that people get an opportunity to kick tires on those who choose to seek public office. And at least in this country, Canadians take a good hard look before they make their final selections. The thing that'll be interesting for me is whether the NDP and Liberal switchers, that is to say NDP voters who've gone over to the Liberal Party, are going to stay with the Liberal Party. It's surprising to me that NDP voters will go and vote for a banker from Goldman Sachs, but stranger things have happened. But it'll be up to the five major parties, I guess, between now and the end of the election to really make their case. And I think so far the case has been made relatively fairly, and we'll see what happens over the next 10 days.
All right. Regan Watts, appreciate our time. Thank you for joining us today.